Coach, we'll take our first question down here in the front.
Dan, just as it was for your players, it was a learning experience for you in year one as a head coach at this level. What did you learn about yourself and these guys that can help you build on this season, 18 wins, 10 wins in conference, and take it to an even higher level next year?
Yeah, I think it's that's why it's so abrupt, because I really think this team, particularly this group, deserves me in my second year. That's the hard part for me. So, you got to grow from it. We really had some opportunities tonight, and that's the stuff you got to go through. And even as simple as opportunities this year in conference, where you drop the ball. I dropped the ball, and you got to. As you guys know, my reflection's high level. My inward looking is high level, and I feel pretty comfortable where I'm growing and where I'm going. I feel for these guys though, because that's a big piece for me, and I feel like that's the whole deal. You're 10-10. We had a terrific non-conference. 10-10 in this league puts you behind the 8 ball, and now we feel it, grow from it. The group that hopefully gets, comes back or, decides to come back and fight for us. I think that's a big deal going forward. And I think these seniors laid a pretty good foundation for what it means when our coaching staff believes in you.
Coach, will stay to your left, guy.
Coach, we talked about a few times this year about the standard that you walked into when you took this job at Iona.
Yeah.
I think you're already aware that you didn't reach it this year. What do you feel like has to happen this offseason to kind of put Iona back to where it needs to be?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the exciting part, is being able to go into the offseason and understanding the league, understanding college basketball more. I think in my reflection of where I am as a human, not being in college hoops for 10 years was one of the biggest detriments for me personally. I can watch all the film in the world. I could stay up and watch every game, watch every team, watch every clip until you're back in it, feel it, understand it. It's hard to predict it. And I thought we handled that pretty well as we went through the year. But that's my thing. I think for the spring here is we got to get guys better internally, and then externally we got to do the right deal with our roster build and where we're headed. I think you guys will see when things happen in the spring that we'll be shaped a little differently, and I think that'll be a reason that our standard gets back to where Iona needs to be.
Coach, will stay on your left in the front, Sam.
Coach, you talk about kind of the process of you growing. What does that process look like? And when you mentioned being shaped differently, what does that mean for you? And does that mean you kind of have any regrets about how you built this team?
Yeah, I think no regrets on how this team was built because of the player development we had to dive into. I think that was a big piece of our evaluations I felt comfortable with, and I think I liked where we grew into it. I'm supremely upset that Aliu Fall sprained his ankle. You know what I mean? That's a tough one for us because I think his growth's been incredible. But I think the team-wise, you have to, with Keyshawn going down, that really changed how we were built. And I think we'll look back on that a lot and really think about what our purpose was and how purposeful we got with playing differently and playing a little bigger at times. And then tonight, some sudden change makes you play a little differently and play a little smaller. So I think when I say we're going to be shaped differently, I think you'll see probably more size. But I think that at the end of the day, maybe a little bit more wings, as you've seen some of our commits that are coming in, and I think that's a big thing of where we're headed is continuing to recruit our shooting and our versatility, and then defensively being able to do some different things more often.
Coach, to your right in the back here.
Coach, Matt Saff with the Drive Journal. One of the extracting the positives from today and just the season overall. I know one of the big emphasis has been player development, and Luke kind of spoke to, from where he started at the beginning of the season to today. You mentioned Aliu, obviously CJ's progression coming from Cincinnati, as well as even Lamine and Khalil. Kind of just speak about some of the different guys that you, especially with the guys that have the eligibility to possibly return, and what you saw for them in terms of their growth this season.
Yeah, that's a long list. And that's why I think I really don't have any regrets about how we built this roster. I really think these boys fell in love with the routine and how I want to build this thing and where we're headed with it. Lamine's a special one to me. That's going to be, you don't just replace that. As you guys know, it's very hard to be a big here. And he had 16, 7 boards, 8 assists, and I was like, can he give us more? But it's hard. It's hard to be a big here. And listen, these guys really just dove into a belief. That's why I love them. That's why I'm going to love this team. This team's going to be my most unique team. I really believe in my coaching career, because a lot of them haven't had the opportunities that were given to them here at a place like this. That's the other thing too, where the standard, as Guy mentioned, the standard's real. We felt that in the MAAC season a lot. And again, we'll talk about it a ton, but going 4-0 and the way it looked like and expectations going through the roof, I love it. That was the whole deal why we did this, and then they had to feel that too, and obviously came up well short, and this is not where we want to be. I'll promise you that. We don't want to be here and in this seating and in this world going forward. So we're going to address that in due time and understand where we're headed, understand where I'm headed, and react to that appropriately. But this team, and the list you just named off, those are all guys that just bought. They bought in. They felt it day by day. I think it's why tonight feels so abrupt. But at the end of the day, that's college hoops, and it's an abrupt business. That's for sure.
Coach, down in front to your right, Chuck.
Dan, definitely a solid performance tonight. There were quite a few fouls on both sides, I noticed. Do you feel like that played a factor in the deciding outcome?
No, I do not. Everyone's doing their job best they can. Everyone's got a job to do. I'll have to take a look at the film, see my vantage points compared to others, and I think we build from there.
One more for Coach. Right in front, John. I thought you were. Yes.
You mentioned Aliu, obviously going down with the ankle injury. They had a stretch 11-12 from the field in the second half. I know it was more of an up-tempo, kind of spread the floor pace game, but what did his absence mean, particularly to you guys defensively in that second half?
Yeah, I think that was a great adjustment by them. And that was, that was difficult. We tried to do some different things to limit their movement because of no Aliu. And at the end of the day, a lot of our droughts defensively have been with teams attacking the paint when he's not in there. And I felt that drought happened, and that's the tough part. You get in the ebb and flow of the game, and you're feeling like you're in a Sacred Heart game. That's for damn sure. And they're comfortable playing that way, and they attack the rim at a high level. And that's when I think you started to see how Hill could affect the game differently, and how he got confident, and then how that made their shooters even more confident too.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.